Hey guys, this is Miss Black again with another tutorial on an art project. This art project is going to involve overlapping, which is kind of an art term, line work, color, and then also it's going to involve more science core terms for younger grades, but this is a project that anybody could do. It's actually quite fun. But the concepts we're going to be learning about with science are living things, how they change over time and things like that. So what we're going to be drawing are leaves that are overlapping. It's going to look kind of like a pile of leaves, and we're going to be using color to show the different colors that leaves show during this time of the year. And we're going to be using line to create texture and to create pattern, just to make it a really fun project. So what you're going to need is a piece of paper. This is just a regular piece of printer paper. I would suggest using a pen for this project because it is a lot of line work, and then when you color over it, the pen doesn't smear with the crayon or colored pencil or whatever you're using. But if you use pencil, just make sure to draw lightly so that you can go over those lines again, maybe with colored pencil or crayon. And then it won't smear if you draw lightly. So you're also going to need something to color with. I'm just going to use crayons. Get some crayons right here, and I'll get to those later. But what we're going to do is draw a leaf shape, and you're going to use the entire space for this paper, from edge to edge everywhere. And what you're going to start with is just a leaf shape, and you can draw a few of them. So I'm going to draw just this one, but you could draw different types of leaf shapes if you want. It just so happens that this is a simple one that I like to draw. So basically what you're drawing is a frowny line and a smiley line, and that's pretty simple. And you're going to draw a few of these. You can draw them bigger. Okay, so we've got a frowny line, smiley line. Maybe I'll switch it up and draw oak leaf, which is this type of leaf. It's just got these very flowy organic lines on the edges. Okay, maybe one more of these leaves. Okay, and now we're going to talk about some overlapping. So these leaves, if you think about a leaf pile, these leaves would technically be the ones on the very top because you can see the whole leaf. But as you go further down there, you can notice more leaves. You just can't see the whole leaf because these are the ones that are on top of them. So what I'm going to do is I'll draw another shape like this, but I'm not going to draw over this leaf because this one is technically on top. And it's overlapping. If you think about your hands, you know that they're the same shape, but sometimes you have one shape over the other, and you can't see this entire hand because this one's in front of it. Okay, so in between my fingers here, you're going to see my hands, and you'll see that in the negative space. And I should probably define what negative space is. So if you look at this shape here, the inside of the shape is called positive space, and the outside of the shape is called negative space. Anything outside of it is negative to this shape. So when you draw shapes underneath it, you're only going to draw those shapes on the negative space. Okay, so if I give you an example here, I'll draw another leaf like this, but it's going to appear to be underneath this leaf. So maybe I'll draw the stem right here, and I would stop at this line, and then maybe continue it here, stop there, and bring it in like that. So it looks like this one is on top of the other. If I do another one, how about I draw another oak leaf behind one of these leaves? So if I start right here, let me move this up so you can see it a little better. I'd stop right there because I don't want to draw on top of this leaf. Stop right there. and then jump as if this line was continuing, but then I'd start right here in the negative space of this leaf shape. Okay, and you're going to fill the entire page with that. So let's see if I can do this fast so we can get to the next step. I'll draw another oak leaf here. So I'm going to continue drawing this until I fill my page. If you would like to forward past this part to get to the next step, you can. Or if you'd like to draw along with me as I'm trying to fill this page, then you can do that. But I'm just going to continue drawing these leaves. Maybe I'd see like the corner here, until my whole paper is filled. And you're going to want to draw them a little bit bigger than, like the top ones would look a little bit bigger than the bottom ones, because the bottom ones are a little farther away, if you want to think about it that way. But if you're drawing more leaves underneath leaves, you're going to think of this as its positive space and this is its negative space. So I drew this leaf in this leaf shape's negative space. And I'm not going to draw any leaf that overlaps, or, well, its lines wouldn't overlap any other leaf. Okay, so there's one. Maybe I'll draw a big one. Well, you know what? Your leaves can be varied sizes. So if you want to draw some big ones, some small ones, it's okay, because this is fall. You see different leaves everywhere. So they don't all have to be one shape and one size. There's one. I'll draw another one here. But maybe I can't see the stem or the tip of the leaf. Maybe I'll draw another oak leaf here. Okay, and I'm going to continue to the very edges. So we got our frowny line and our smiley line. Maybe I'll do a long skinny leaf here. A couple of those. I like this long skinny leaf idea. So right now it's starting to look like a pile of leaves, right? I'm going to draw a big one here. And see, I'm going to be stopping at the edge. So I'm not going to make all of my points. I'm not going to squish it in there. If I were to draw like another one of these, I'm going to think about this like it's a positive 2. You're going to think about the edge. So see how it's cut off? You're not going to squish a leaf in there. You're going to completely draw, but it's going to cut off here. Got to draw the whole shape. Leaves don't squish and confine themselves. They are just the shapes they are. So maybe I'll draw another oak leaf here. I like that idea. And these leaves don't have to look exactly like the leaves that are in nature. It can be very stylized. So I'm going from edge to edge on all of my 4 sides. I'm going to draw a little leaf here. I like these long skinny ones. These are kind of like the leaves that you'd see in a tree called a honey locust tree. I have one of those trees at home. You could also draw like a, what's it called? A maple leaf. I'm not quite sure how to draw that off the top of my head though. I'm going to kind of stick with the stuff that I know, which are these type of leaves. Like this is like an ash leaf, oak leaf, that's like an elm leaf. Maybe I'll draw some more elm leaves. These are all the trees that I have at home. Almost done here. We're going to get to the next step very soon. Maybe another oak leaf here. Except I don't have an oak tree at home. I wish I did. See how it's cutting off on the edge? I'm not just squishing the shape in. Okay, I've just got a few more leaves maybe on these edges to draw. And the next part's really fun. I'm excited for it. So stay tuned. Another ash leaf here. There's another one here. Oh, there's a crow outside. Crows are actually my favorite bird. I don't know if you guys can hear that caw. I don't know what it is about crows, you guys. I just love them. They're misunderstood birds. Okay, I'm going to call it there. So I have my entire page full of leaves. I didn't put any lines that crossed over on any other leaf's positive space. And that's how you make it look like a pile of leaves. The next step would be to draw the veins that are in the leaves. So if I draw it on here, I'm going to draw a line all the way from the stem of the leaf to the tip of the top of the leaf. And then I'm going to draw just a lot of lines. And these are kind of like the veins. You're going to do this on all of them, even though leaves don't really look like this. It's going to look really cool for your art piece. So I'm going to draw these lines all the way to the top of the leaves. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm going to do this with all of my leaves. So this is a long project, and if you want to see me finish mine, I'm planning on doing it on a time lapse. So you can see me finish this one. I'm not going to do all the line work here. I did want to show you all of the leaves from edges to edges, but all of this line work is going to take too long. So I'm going to put this on a time lapse so you can see me finish it. But I want to show you how you can overlap these types of lines. See how it jumps to the edge of it in the negative space of this leaf right here. So the same thing is going to happen with these lines. You're going to stop when you get to the other leaf. Maybe you have to jump like I just did. And then you'll jump over here to the other part of the leaf. Okay, so there's that one, and all of the leaves are going to look like this. I'll show you what it looks like with a oak leaf. So it's looking pretty cool. And your lines don't need to be necessarily completely parallel. And what I mean is, when you draw something that's parallel, two lines that are parallel, they are following each other, but they're not, like, and if they were to keep going, they would never touch. But these lines, you see, if they were to keep going, they would eventually touch. So your line work on your leaves don't necessarily have to be parallel. You can draw some angled lines, and that's okay. And this is just showing living things and how they change. I believe that's technically a 3rd grade concept, but it's also, oops, I should finish this leaf. Other grades concepts. I know that 1st grade learns about that, 2nd grade does. So technically this is a younger grade project because of the content, but I mean, this is fun for me, and I'm not in 3rd grade. I'm not in 1st or 2nd grade. I just think this is a fun project. So anybody's welcome to do this. Okay, I'm just going to show you a couple more leaves and their veins. And then I'll show you the color piece to this project. So I should clarify, the veins are always starting from the stem of the leaf. So this is my stem here, that's the stem there, that's the stem there. They're never going to be starting at the, I don't know what you would even call this, the tip of the leaf. They're always going to start from the stem. So make sure that you're finding the stem before you start your lines, because that's how leaves are in real life. And I know that these aren't technically completely accurate as to how the leaves really look in real life, but we want to be somewhat accurate. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. I'll draw the rest of these lines in time lapse. But the next step after you've drawn all of your line work is you're going to choose colors like yellow. You could choose like a gold color. Brown would be good. And you can use colored pencils if you would like. Red would be great. Oranges. So all the colors that you think of when you think of fall. Got a red orange here. And even purple can be part of that. I'm going to choose like this type of purple because I've definitely seen this type of purple as I've taken walks around. Let me just focus that. Okay, and then you're going to take the colors you're choosing and you're going to choose different colors, and then you're just going to go over your lines again with that color. You're not going to, well, if you would like to completely color the leaf, you can. But I'm just going to draw the lines. I'm just going to sort of trace over those lines. And if you're completely coloring your leaf, like I'm not doing, then you're going to want to make sure that you go, if you've used pencil, you're going to want to go over those lines from your pencil, maybe a little darker, because if you're completely covering it, you might not see them unless it's dark. So that's why I would suggest using a pen, because the pen is always dark. And especially if you're coloring the whole thing, it won't smudge. And as you can see, I've colored over these lines with the crayon and it didn't smudge. If I were to do the same with pencil, so let me just draw a leaf over here. Draw my lines. This is kind of what will happen if you try to color over it. It will look okay, but it might smudge and smear. So I'll zoom in so you can see that a little better. But you can kind of see those little smudges. Let's focus a little bit. Okay, so you see right there how it's smudging the pencil a little bit. Now it looks okay if you want to do that, but that's just a little tip that I have for you. If you do it with pen, that smudging isn't going to happen. Okay. So that's okay if you want to do it that way. But like I said, I would suggest using a pen. Alright, so I'm going to choose one other color, maybe two other colors. And then I'm going to go ahead and go to time lapse. And those colors are going to stay within the negative space of the overlapping leaf. So make sure you're not coloring over the whole thing. Okay, and you're going to do this with all of them. You know what might actually look really good is if I outline the edge. I think that will look really great. Yeah, I'd definitely suggest doing that. That looks a lot better. Well, not better, but it looks really good. And this is a great project just to sort of celebrate the changing seasons. Okay, maybe one more color I'll show you. Right here. So I'm going to start actually see what it looks like if I outline first. And then I'll draw my lines. And you might notice as you're coloring through these that you have a lot of negative space, and you can always add more leaves in those spaces. Like I think I would probably want to add another leaf here. But yeah, so that's the project. Stay tuned for the time lapse, and I hope you guys have lots of fun. Thanks.